This is Usborne's Lift the Flap word book, and I think this is a great book for kids who are learning how to read. So there's pictures and words that they need to match. So for example, you flip this one and it says jump, and then you come down here and the child can practice reading the word jump and check to make sure that their answer is right, and they can see a little girl jumping down there. So this is a very cute book and great for kids learning how to read. This book is so cool. It's called What's Below, and it really taps into kids' curiosity and wonder of what could be lying beneath. And in the beginning here, it talks about the rainforest and what you can find beneath the rainforest canopy. And then here you learn about animals in the winter that are underneath the ground. And then here you talk about fossils and things you can find under rocks, layers of rock. And then here under the sea. And then here, what you can find underground in the city. So many fun things to discover and talk about with your kids. Usborne has a nice collection of phonics readers. These are nice not only for your children who are learning how to read, but it's also fun just to read to your child anyways. They have charming illustrations and they have some rhyming text in them. And at the end of the story, there's some information for parents on how to support your growing reader. So Usborne has individual books like this, but they also have them in a collection here. And there are 12 different phonics readers in here. There is a CD that goes along with it. And some of the pages also have a flap that flips out to make it a little bit more fun and interactive. And I also see a hiding duck in there. This is the Ready for Writing White Clean book, and this is wonderful for kids that are just starting with their writing. There's lots of different shapes for them to trace and lots of pictures and diagonals and straight lines and curved lines. And then once you get to the end of this book, it has the letters in here, but they're not in alphabetical order because it starts with the easier letters that are easier for them to write. So the ones with straight lines, and then the ones with curved lines and straight lines, and then the ones that are a little bit trickier with the slants, and then the ones where you have to do humps and squiggles and whatnot. So there's the Ready for Writing book. Here's one of our new Shine a Light books called Wonders of the USA, and if you are not familiar with our Shine a Light books, you are in for a treat. So basically, it's an introduction to nonfiction books. You read the information, and then you can take a flashlight and shine it behind the page, or you can hold it up to a light, and new things start to appear in the picture. This book deals with all of the different things that you can see around the U.S. I think it's a great book that teaches you some of the things that make the USA special. This book is incredible. It's called Story Path, and in this book you get to choose a path and create your very own story. And so they start you out with once upon a time there lived a, and then you follow along on the path and pick whatever you would like. One day, they were riding along on their elephant. As they turned the corner, they were stopped by a mysterious fairy who gave them a magical map. They reached out to touch it. In a puff of smoke, they were magically taken to a strange new place. It was and then you continue following the path and creating your story. On each of the pages, there's some questions that help you elaborate on your story a little bit more. So it says, who did you choose? What did they smell like? Were they noisy? Where did they take them? I think this would be a great book for speech and language development, also practicing creativity. And I love how the kids are kind of telling their own story, and I think this will help them with their writing and becoming better writers as they go through school as well. So definitely a super fun book. Every time you go through it, you have a different story. So very fun, and I highly recommend it. Here is a really fun book called Questions and Answers About Your Body. Great book for kids who are curious about their body or who have lots of questions or enjoy learning about things. Basically, there's simple questions that they ask on each page, and then there's flaps that you can lift that gives you simple explanations to the question. For example, this says, what are freckles? And then it says, tiny patches of skin that react more to sunlight than the rest of your skin. People with pale skin tend to have more freckles than people with darker skin. So definitely a very fun and interactive book that can teach your kids lots of fun things. Here is See Inside the World of Dinosaurs, and this is packed full of tons and tons of information about dinosaurs. There's lots of flaps that the kids can lift and read more information underneath those. Great book for kids who are really into dinosaurs, and all the flaps make it really fun and engaging and interactive when they're learning about the dinosaurs. Here is our Wheel Nut series, and this is a favorite of my son's. Basically, there's 6 different race cars, and they have a map at the beginning of all of the books so you can see the different places that you're reading about. And the racers, you know, go through the course and they try to do silly things and funny things to help themselves win the race. There's somebody in the book that tries to sabotage the race, and just funny things happen throughout the book. And my son just loves to sit through this and listen to it. And, you know, this would be even a good book for reluctant readers because there's lots of great pictures throughout it to keep their interest. So this one is Desert Dust Up, and we have Spooky Smackdown, Space Mash, Deep Sea Dash, and Rainforest Rumble. We love these books. Here are 2 of Usborne's activity books. This one's 100 Paper Planes to Fold and Fly. There are different types of planes and directions on how to make each of them. And here are all of the different patterns that you can use for when you're making your plane. And then this one is the Big Maze book, and it has really nice, colorful mazes that your kids can do. And Usborne actually has tons of other activity books that are nice and fun and engaging and will keep your child occupied for a while. I love this book. It's called Do Nice, Be Kind, Spread Happy, and it's about acts of kindness for kids. And I'll read this beginning part to you. It says, congratulations. Now that you have this incredible book, you automatically qualify for membership in the Worldwide Kindness Club, a secret society of undercover agents with a common purpose: to spread happiness, smiles, magic, and a bit of mischief throughout our world by committing acts of ninja kindness. And do you know the most powerful thing about your acts of kindness? Kind acts make people happy, and happy people are nice to others, so the movement grows and grows. I'll give you a little peek at the inside, but this is full of ideas that your child can do for little acts of kindness. Here is The Shocking Story of Electricity, and I really like this book. It tells you the story of electricity from the very beginning until now, and it goes through all the different people who made discoveries and conducted experiments to learn about electricity. And a lot of these things I didn't even know. It's really well written, it's easy to understand, and the pictures are great. By the end of the story, you learn about electricity today and also how scientists are doing experiments and trying to learn different ways to maintain electricity moving ahead into the future. Here is a really neat book called Just Imagine, and there's another one just like it called You Choose, and I love, love, love these books. Basically, on each page, the author gives you something to ponder and think about. Can you imagine being big? Or would you like to be small? Imagine being made differently, not really human at all. So there's these beautiful illustrations throughout the book that really get your child thinking and wondering and talking. These books are really good for speech and language development, great for creativity and decision making. I really love just sitting with my boys and looking at the pictures and talking about them. You know, it's a great bonding time, and it's really neat to hear all the fun things that my son thinks about and wonders about. So definitely a really, really neat book that I encourage you to take a look into. Here is a new chapter book series that we have about a police dog named Fizz. What I really love about this series is that there's tons of pictures throughout the entire book. This is great for kids who are just getting into chapter books or for reluctant readers that really enjoy a little bit of pictures while they're reading. The age recommendation for the series is 7 through 10, but I actually read it to my 5-year-old, and he really loves the stories because they're fun and the pictures keep him engaged throughout. This particular book is about Fizz and how he wants to become a police dog, and nobody believes he can because he's small and doesn't look like your typical police dog. I thought the story was going to end a particular way, and it actually surprised me in the end, and I won't spoil that for you. And then here's the next book in the series called Fizz and the Dog Academy Rescue. And in this book, Fizz learns how to be a police dog and all the skills necessary. One of the things he has to do is solve a mystery, and so there's clues throughout the book. And kind of like the first book, I was expecting it to end a certain way, and there's a little bit of a surprise at the end. There are 4 different books in the series. The third one is Fizz and the Show Dog Jewel Thief, and the fourth one is Fizz and the Handbag Dog Napper.